Hey Mark, you ready for this game tonight?
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Cupsy, what are you doing over there?
Don't worry, boys. Was just on AztecSafety.com, took a fire extinguisher safety course. Paul, I'm putting out the fires from now on. Woo!
All right, real talk for a second. If your snack situation hasn't changed in years, maybe it's time for an upgrade. The Chocolate Lab makes legit chocolate that's worth paying attention to. That's it. Back to whatever you were doing.
Good evening, curling fans, and welcome to Martensville, Saskatchewan. It's the Curling Stadium, Martensville International Bonspiel, brought to you here on SSN. This is the final draw pool play. We have this matchup between Mike McEwen and Dylan Derksen. It will be Dylan Derksen with the hammer here in end number one, throwing the Yellowstone to McEwen with the red. And we're so happy to have you here with us. I'm Dave Schmel, joined by Sean Joyce. Connor Sims is on production. And Sean, it's been a fun weekend thus far.
Yeah, and quick. That's what happens when you've only got 10 teams. These games go through by quick. Everybody's played 4 out of 5 draws to get their 4 games in. This is the final draw of the round robin portion. And we kind of know some of the playoff teams, but there's still a few berths up for grabs here.
All right, so why don't you lay out that situation for us?
Well, we're looking at Pool A, so let's start with Pool B just because it's a little simpler. Brad Gushue, Kevin Tuma, they're playing right next door. They are both 3-0, so the winner of that game will win Pool B. The loser will finish second in Pool B and is through to the playoffs. Ryland Kleider is at 2-2. He's already finished. So we know that the 3 lost teams are done, and Ryland could finish in 5th all by himself, or he could end up in a 4-way tie, because what we've got going on here in Pool A in our feature matchup, Mike McEwen is 3-0. He has won the pool. He's still got something to play for, because, and I'm not 100% sure the playoff format here, a lot of times when you get to the final, if you end up playing against the team that won the other side and they've got a better record, they get the hammer. So if he goes 4-0, he knows he'll be no worse than draw to the button, because the winner of the pool on the other side is going to be 4-0. And is this one next door on the other side? Jordan McDonald is playing Caden Hebert, and Jordan is 2-1. Hebert is 1-2. Derksen is 1-2. There is a potential logjam at 2-2 for either the 5th position or the 4th and 5th position in a 5-team playoff. So all 3 games here with playoff implications.
Absolutely, and very conveniently on sheets 3 and 4, we have black uniforms, the green trim, and green uniforms, the black trim, and red uniforms. My goodness, we had to find a way to get some color diversity, and just in the uniforms, I mean, it's just.
Yeah, I'm not touching that. Yeah.
I'm trying to dig myself out.
Yeah, you dug a hole there.
Just all the uniforms look the same anymore.
Wanted to get to the inside of this redstone and just jiggle things around. He's going to stay on the high side. Derksen with shot rock, and he's got last rock here in the opening end of play. They had 2 excellent draws to the button. That could also be important. We end up with a logjam of ties. That's what it'll come down to decide the last spot, or maybe the last two spots.
Mm-hmm.
McEwen could make a play on the red under the yellow right now. He doesn't have to play it this early. That's what he was thinking about. You play another freeze, you could line it up again. You probably don't want to be dead on the nose. You want to be just on a slight angle so that it's still angled to go onto the yellow. A little bit of room between that red and yellow too. If you could tap it up 3 or 4 inches, that'd be okay. This is going to overcurl though. And well light.
Very, very light.
The Derksen team's going to try to get to the inside of that red again. Now, they were well outside the line they were looking for the last time.
So on the way from Rhett Whitmore. Team playing three-handed. Gavin Martins handling the brushing here. This one is also light. Chaps off the top guard.
Well, on the one hand, he takes away the little red angle shot that Mike has, but the downside, you've got last rock here, and there's not a lot of room to score a second point right now.
Shots down still belongs to Dylan Derksen. As you mentioned, Sean, it's going to be tough for McEwen to dig it out, but also tough for Dylan Derksen to get to.
I don't think if you just dead froze right now, you'd be second. You'd have to move that back red. Now, Mike did look at coming around from the intern side, but that red behind it, it's always going to be tough to get a good angle from the intern side. So he's playing the corner freeze on the red again. That would leave a piece of this one sticking out, and then he'd have another, or could still have a chance to play the red angle onto the shot stone.
We have the Marsh brothers on the brush. Both very conveniently wearing the same gloves and same uniforms.
Actually touched that guard and still spun underneath it, so everything's overlapped now. There's not much available on the outturn side. First indication there from Gavin seemed to be that this might be a little warm.
Just a touch toasty.
Yeah, you can tap, but you sure don't want to spin off. That's pretty good.
Sails down just in time. It's Derksen with the shot stone.
Boy, to me, it looks hard to hit anything there without a bunch of red ones leaving.
Yeah, that could go poorly.
Yeah, if you go over the top of the yellow that was just thrown, it'll be yellow onto red. The red goes, and when it spins back, it'll actually take the red out of the back of the button too.
Still gonna take this one on though.
He must think he can hit enough of it to not go over the top of the yellow that was just thrown.
Golden flash. Marsh on this hard to carve it. way on the outside, just nicks it over. See right there. Shot stone for Derksen, 2 and 3 for McEwen.
Yeah, it took away the shot that Derksen had.
Exact same reaction, Sean.
Yeah, well, it might go. What he's looking at is the yellow and the 8-foot that's just behind the tee line come off of it into the side of the red. But that still leaves the one at the top of the 4-foot as second shot. And if you ever kick your own stone in the button out into the open, which it could do, like they're awfully close to touching.
I think they may be touching.
They might be.
If only we had a producer who could get a perfect shot of that. But we're stuck with Connor. Completely his fault.
I think if you're Derksen right now, what might be the best shot, he's trying to get a lot out of one rock, but you might need to pick that stone out of the top of the 12-foot to open up the rock at the top of the 4 again.
You see that the shot and second stones are welded together, as are the third and fourth.
Yeah, but second and third are both belonging to McEwen. So even if you make this shot, you're not improving your situation.
Right.
But there's the potential to make it worse. If you come across, hit that red, and it touches the back end of the yellow and pushes it out into the open a piece, you've made your position much worse.
So Rhett Whitmore with what's a very aggressive call.
Well, he's a long ways out there, so this is not rolling in.
Well, we won't have to worry about what would have happened.
Mike could probably play it now, though, because he's going to come into the red.
Oh, it's
and
a
that
lot
red
better
should,
for Mike.
It should
it's great
spin
for
into
Mike.
the button, yeah.
It's a great shot from McEwen. Should like 3 if you make it.
No, never more than 2, I don't think. And it would be hard to do that because you can hit the back of the second red, so I don't know that you're ever going to get to the shot stone.
Isn't the one that's welded to on the back going to kick it up? So you fire down a peel weight and catch a third of the yellow there in the 8-foot, just biting the 4. Fire on in there and they go out the side.
The one at the back of the 4 is never hit, not with it up that high now, it's not ever hitting the yellow now. But the one at the top of the 4 catches the back end of the yellow right beside it at full top 4.
Mm-hmm.
That's just that when it spins back, I'm not sure that it ever touches the yellow. It'll come right back towards your own. You could play the same freeze again, too. Freeze the corner on the red. Try to leave it to angle in there. And actually, the even better result would be if you could play that as a freeze and move that up 2-3 inches. Then you got 2 ways to get it. You could play the tap on this shot, or you could play that in off because the angle would be ever so slightly better. Got to stop sweeping on this because they don't want it to over curl now.
And they just leave it up high.
Might have left himself enough of that red to get onto the either the red or the yellow, make the double that way.
I know. If I'm Dylan Derksen right now, I'm trying to find a way to make sure that this score is 1 yellow. You're never scoring 2. I don't think.
Yeah, it's tough. I would have liked to have seen him. I would have liked to have seen him peel the red at the top 12 foot on the last one. Because if that red in the top 12 is out of the way, you could see enough of that yellow in the top 4 foot to make something. But I think you're a shot too late now.
So I think McEwen can play the red that was just thrown and light 2.
Maybe.
Well, it depends on how aggressive he wants to be.
There's still potential for that to go badly wrong if he hits it over the top of the yellow at the top 4. And Derksen could put this in a spot where now that yellow at the top 4 can't go away. Like if he gets this corner frozen onto the shot stone, the one at the top 4 is never leaving. Well, that far short was never really an option. Mike just has to decide if it's worth the risk. There is no chance.
Take a look at it. Yeah, you take a look at it.
Can't give up 2 unless he opens up more room. Can you hit enough of that red one? And you can see a lot more of this one than they could at the one they tried earlier.
I think it's there, buddy.
Well, I think it probably is too. I wasn't sure about the one before, but you can see more of this one. The scary part, though, is you really have to be tight to the yellow. You hit half a rock, it doesn't matter how much you could see. It only matters what you hit. Half might be okay. It would go directly onto the yellow. You could make this hitting it into the pocket too, really.
So what we're saying is we're looking at hitting that redstone that's right there on the A of National. On to the next red.
I think he probably wants to make contact with the yellow at the top 4 foot. So you make contact with the yellow at the top 4 foot. It clips the yellow on the button, and yes, it will move the redstone at the back of the button, but that yellow will still spin out of the button area. But if you absolutely stuff this, you could still be sitting 2 off this, I think.
Either way, big shot here in the opening end. No shortage of action here early on. All but 2 stones are in play. And Mike wants another look. And Sean, we talked about...
He had an idea how much he wanted to hit, and he probably got halfway down and said, I can just barely see what I want to hit.
Yeah, you see Brett Whitmore taking a seat on the other side. This has been a involved end.
Yeah, well, and you need to be sure this is there. Because, again, there is no shot for 2 if you don't throw. But if you throw and open something up, you're not going to be very happy.
So does Mike McEwen want to take that aggressive stance, try to score here in the first?
If he could see the whole red one, I'm sure he'd play it. He can probably see... I think he can see a little bit more than what he needs to hit, but you're having to get a little tighter to that yellow one than you'd like. Mind you, you rub the yellow and you really... I was going to say you're probably not opening anything up. However, if you tap that red over to the other side of the center line where he could run it in, there'd be no risk running it in from the other side.
So he's gonna take it on. Mike McEwen. With his last of the first, trying to set up a steal two. Oh, they wrecked the top guard. And it's going to be Derksen still line one. Is there something left for him?
Yeah, well, there has to be now, because there's some room. You could feather tick off that yellow. Well, I don't know if you get far enough into the button off that.
What about chiseling the yellow on the left-hand side?
That's all I'm seeing. You chisel it very thin, touch the yellow on the button, and it's going to have to move the red button, the stone that's biting the button at the back.
Yep.
But,
there's a good look at it.
They're lined up for that. Mind you, got to be paper thin on this, because otherwise the yellow you're making contact first is going to spin a little bit. You can't hurt yourself, though. There's no way that you can't hit that yellow on the button in a way that you lose it.
Yeah, you never hurt yourself here. So Dylan Derksen got one in the side pocket trying to get two. Final stone of the opening end. Just wants to catch an edge of his own. Push it on and shove the McEwen rock out. Be very patient, waiting for it. Now on it to hold it. Off and on. Really, really close. Tap it, move it over. No, is it enough?
It might have been enough.
I don't think so. It's one for sure. So close for the second one. I think it's red, Shawnee.
I think we're going to get a stick on it, probably. My initial thought was he probably needed to move the red. He didn't move the red, but he's a little farther in than I thought he would be, too.
Good job by Meyer picking a little piece of hair off the ice. And we're going to throw a stick on it.
Somebody's gone for the stick.
So go ahead, folks at home, make your guesses now. At stake are 476 curling zone bonus points, which are redeemable every second Friday the 13th during a blue moon.
Apparently, somebody had to go into Saskatoon to get a measuring stick. There we go.
There we go. We have a stick. We see the micrometer with the pressure gauge.
We see the back of Kevin's head. I'll have to give him flack for that.
And there's Kevin. Get out of the way, Kevin. To about his inside of his earlobe. That's red all day. I can see that from here. So it'll be a score of 1 for yellow, and Derksen has that lead. McEwen has a hammer when we come back.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting tenfold their durability. The PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
Brett, come on, man. I know Aztec's #1 for online safety training, but we really should be out here practicing.
I know, guys. I'll be right there. Just let me finish this course on gas detection. Wait. Do you smell that?
And welcome back to Martensville. It was a single scoop point for Dylan Derksen there in the opening end. McEwen has a hammer, throwing the redstones in end number 2. And Sean, you've had an opportunity to take a look at the draw the button scores and the different playoff scenarios. So what new info do we have?
I've had a chance, but actually James Gordon had a chance as well. So he's looked at all the combinations because he's already seen the, and he did send those along as well. Thanks, James. The draw to the button scores after. So we've got all the draw to the button scores now up to date, including this final draw. Jordan McDonald, we knew this. He comes in with a record of 2-1. So if he wins his game, he's in. He controls his own fate. But looking at the combinations here, if he loses his game, he's out. And that'll be based on draw to the button. He would be into some kind of a tie with, he's playing against Hebert next door. So he would be in a 3-way tie at least at 2-2 with Ryland Kleider. And it looks like in all those combinations, McDonald would be out. So his draw to the button score must be the lowest one. If McEwen wins and McDonald loses, that would mean Kleider and Hebert are in. Kleider must have a good draw to the button score. It looks like he's in regardless. If McDonald loses and Derksen was to win, that's when we get a 4-way tie. It would be Clayton and Derksen getting through. 4-way tie for 2 spots. So it looks like Kleider must have, he's already at 2-2. He's just sitting back waiting to see what happens. But it looks like his draw to the button score is good enough that even in a tie, he's going to be into the playoffs. There is a possibility yet of no ties. If McEwen and McDonald both win, McEwen ends up 4-0, McDonald ends up 3-1, and Ryland Kleider will be the only team at 2-2. There'll be 4 teams at 1-3, and somebody's going to be 0-4 in Pool B. Usually it would be a lot more clear than this as you get to the final draw, but yeah, four games out there, 3 of them with playoff implications, and quite a lot of combinations still possible.
And we'll make sure we give you some score updates as we move along here.
These are the kind of ones when we're doing them at a tankard. I know that I've got 2 partners when we're doing that. And of course, we can see all the games out there. And every time the scoreboard changes, we look at what that does to the standings. And really, you may as well wait till after the 10th end. But it's more fun to do it every end. It's also the situation where you'll hear, so some of these players need help. You'll hear them, they'll all tell you if you ask them, yeah, we don't look next door. And they're all lying.
The hell?
Yeah. Yeah. They all know what the score is in the game that matters to them.
I mean, I look next door on my Tuesday night league. For sure, these guys do. So here's Marsh. And Kevin moves 1, 2, 3, and there they go. Adios. Come out here. Nice, smooth release. Down the sheet. 1, 2, 3. Goodbye. But still plenty of stones in play for Team McEwen to build on. That one's probably a touch higher than Dylan would have liked it.
Yeah, I mean, you expect the run backs coming, so you want as much separation as you can get.
Colton Flash. Makes that no problem. Does not leave them lined up. So opportunity for Derksen to draw underneath again. He makes the pop and flop. Wide open, though. And McEwen considering the draw options here.
That's not bad. I mean, the stone in the back he could hit, but then he's well behind the tee line. There might be a freeze opportunity. You could play the straight draw. You could play the split. He did look at the split on the one just outside the rings. You play the split, sit second and third, and you could always hit that one at the back later. If you made the split really well, you could not only sit second and third, but they could both be buried. He's opting for the straight draw. Yeah, even if you just bury one of them, you're in pretty good shape. But playing the straight draw, you can get shot rock.
So the draw is the call for Colton Flash. And comes just a skosh too deep there, Sean.
Yeah, it definitely opens up the freeze.
Broom goes down immediately for Tyler Derksen. Sorry, Dylan Derksen.
Get right down to the freeze. There's room to follow it down again. You could actually be a few inches in front of it, split the tee line, and then I don't know if you could move it enough to be shot rock. You want to be dead lined up, though.
So Dylan puts it on its way. Kevin Martin's on the brush.
It's not heavy.
That is light all day. It's not even close.
Yeah, and now because that first one's behind the tee line, I think you have to play the draw here.
Yeah, huge opportunity now for McEwen. You have to go top four. So all of a sudden, a 3 is very much in play. Mike McEwen. Delivering with that corner broom, which has served him his entire career.
This doesn't look light either. Got to stop.
Yeah, it's not bad, though. Probably stopped close to in time.
Yeah, if you followed it down, you might hold him to 1.
You better make it.
Well, I don't know what else you got. Maybe through the, you might have a shot, you out-turn through the port, but that's a tiny little port.
Yeah, there's not much else for sure.
Yeah, I don't even know if the port's there. Looking at this, by the time you made that port, because you got to be curling on the way through it, I don't think you'd stay on the inside of the rock. It was just thrown, and you've got to be on the inside of it to be shot, or second shot, pardon me.
So the last from Derksen. Just trying to freeze on in there to prevent a multiple score from McEwen.
This has got a lot of room.
This is way out wide. Has to come around, and it is not. Ooh, and there's a shot for 3.
Might have made it easier because you can play in off that yellow.
Multiple ways to get there now. Just straight draw is fine. You can come off the yellow. Just back 8-foot weight, right, Sean?
Yeah, I'd be tempted to throw just the same shot and let the brushers, because you can come off that yellow, you can pick up the brush a little earlier if you want to.
Stacey Marsh indicating back line. That's what they're going to go with. Ice looks a little bit tight for back line.
Yeah, he didn't get anywhere near the guard on the last one. Can't be on the outside of it. If he's outside of it, there's a chance he puts it on the one at the back 4 foot.
So Mike McEwen, final stone of the second end, is on the way. I think I saw Colton say back 4. On this one hard, both gentlemen trying to bring it by. Tight to the guard, it's all over the guard. And it's going to be a score of just, was that 1 or 2?
It was 2.
2 for Mike McEwen. And he has the lead, and Derksen has the hammer when we come back.
Aztec Safety is #1 for online safety training.
Aztec Safety is the proud sponsor of the Aztec Safety Challenge, the #1 event on the World Curling Tour.
And Aztec Safety has been a proud sponsor of Team Jacobs on our quest to represent Canada at the Olympic Games.
And welcome back to Martensville. Score 2 for Mike McEwen. Dylan Derksen has the hammer throwing the yellow rocks here in end number 3 from the Curling Stadium, Martensville International Bonspiel. So happy to have you joining us here on Curling Stadium. Ishmael, Sean Joyce, and Connor Sims here with you. Happy to bring you all the action all weekend. It's been some good curling from a good group of competitors here this weekend. And right now, it's trying to figure out the final playoff picture.
Yeah, there's a couple of these teams trying to stay sharp or get sharp again prior to the Brier. It's been a long layoff for some of these teams. Saskatchewan Tankard playdowns for the first week of January. A couple of these teams, anyway, might not have had anything to play in since then. I do think there were a couple of them that went down to an event in, I want to say it was Phoenix, I believe.
Oh, the Golden Wrench, yes.
Yeah. That's
the
long been one of the battles.
The Golden Wrench, the Ed Wormrich Classic at the Coyotes Curling Club.
It's long been one of the battles for these teams is to try to find something to play in after your provincial playdowns. And this year, on the men's side, it's a little bit more of an issue for some of these guys because they don't play. Well, McEwen didn't play provincial playdowns, didn't have to. Neither did Gushu. And the Brier is really, there's a long break between provincials and the Brier this year because the provincial playdowns were held so early to accommodate the Olympics.
Yeah, that other small tournament.
Try to find something to play in to stay sharp, and that's why this event was thrown together.
And we are happy to bring it to you here on Curling Stadium as one of the sponsors of this event.
I should have peeked. I didn't look to see whether Gushu and McEwen are in the same pool at the Brier. I think the pools came out last week.
You're slacking on us, Sean.
Yeah, well, you know, it's playoffs before there was any chance they could play against each other.
So Kevin Marsh lays that one up here, and looks like we're going to have an open end here.
I don't think they're in the same pool. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon. No, they're not. They're not.
Yes, yeah.
So they can't play each other till the playoffs at the Brier either.
Here's Kevin Marsh. Lays this right up on the center line, and Dylan's going to come up with the peel. Peel goes out far enough.
Probably got it just far enough, yeah.
Guard's going to come right back up. Like to take the opportunity to wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day. Hope you're with your special someone. I, for one, am happy to be with all of you. Sean, reserve your judgment. Just a hair deeper, but the Bruins going to go back up for the peel.
I'd like to hit this one just a little bit thicker.
And the peel is on the way.
Actually, would be nice now if they could clip that one out of the back. But they didn't. And I say that because it's close enough to the rings that, if it comes down to it with the last one, Mike will try to corner freeze that. Now that corner guard, which is off the rings, it would make it impossible to play the hit from the outside in. You'd have to play it from the middle, and there's the chance something jams and stays. It's not a lot to work with, but it's something.
Cold flash on the center guard. And the peel goes and out far enough, out to the sideboards.
That one's living a charmed life back there. Thinking about playing the freeze now.
That is what Mike's going to call.
Yeah, well, you don't want to let. Actually, I thought they might have been coming in with the last one because you throw one too many center guards and Derksen might just decide to go around it.
Sounds like the same conversation we had at our last game with Brad Gushu.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I was thinking about I shouldn't maybe say this on the air because you're giving away secrets, but for Derksen, if he was, once he's a little more savvy on the first of the third stones, they have their third is actually thrown 3 stones. So on his second one with 4 stones left, before you went out there to call the peel, what you could have suggested is you could have yelled down to the other end. Do you want to play the draw, play the come around, tap the ice for the come around, and then go up and peel it. And then there are times when you'll talk the opposition and, well, we better not throw one more guard because if we throw one more guard, he's gonna peel. So we better come into the rings. You could have maybe convinced him to come into the rings one shot earlier. Then you got time. And for all those of you who think those sneaky tricks don't work, they absolutely do, even on guys like a McEwen.
Working this one hard. They want to get all the way down the back and have this in a tenuous situation and just going to nibble the side of the house. So the straight peel on the way.
Probably like to hold his shooter somewhere on the other side of the house so there's no chance to play this again, but he has to get it over the top of the back one.
Most important to execute the hit first.
Well, that is not the way he was trying to do it.
No. And Mike just had practice at it, so he's going to try to do better.
Well, and if you can get close down to that one. The other side of it is you just had practice. You also just saw for Derksen, that is not what he intended with that last one. So
Oh, you missed that by a full stone.
yeah, he doesn't have the spot's not doing what he thought it was doing. Now he did have that one to read off of, but it puts some doubt into your mind if you're throwing a blank that against a rock that's corner frozen.
Oh, for sure. So the last on the way from McEwen. March and Flash. Gonna watch this come on down. That's not too bad.
Yeah. If you dead stuff it, it's probably out, but it's probably spinning back in when you hit it on the center line side. Nose hit's no good. I mean, you could hit it the same for the blank, but I don't think you wanted to hit it that way the last time.
Well, looks like he's going to try to hit just the same way.
I'm not sure. This looks like maybe playing a little bit more weight. 3/4 broom side, and it is far enough back. You'll get some gear effect off your shooter.
Yeah, well, it depends on
We'll
really
know
on
when he
how
comes
clean
out.
this on how clean this release is. And that's the key. Final stone of the third end. Facing one McEwen counter. Derksen with a little speed wobble there.
Yeah.
One's heading out towards the outside and just gets it. And the blank end is in the books. Derksen will have the hammer trailing by one in the fourth when we come back from Martensville.
Who knew after 20 years in real estate I'd have to make silly videos for Instagram and come out behind a tree?
Stu, we need to do this stuff.
Why can't I just door knock into open houses like I did in the old days?
That doesn't work anymore.
Okay, so it's because I'm sitting here behind a tree. Come use us for real estate.
All right, real talk for a second. If your snack situation hasn't changed in years, maybe it's time for an upgrade. The Chocolate Lab makes legit chocolate that's worth paying attention to. That's it. Back to whatever you were doing.
And welcome back to Curling Stadium. It's the fourth end of play. Dylan Derksen trails Mike McEwen by one. He has a hammer throwing the red stones here in end number 4. And we had that blank end, but a little bit of drama at the end there, Sean.
Yeah, a little bit. He overcurled the first one, made sure that he didn't overcurl in the second, but fortunate actually that he hit it as thin as he did, a little bit thicker, and it actually probably would have spun back a bit. You had to dead stuff it in that one to stay where it did.
Now we'll see the action going up here again. A little bit of a better setup for...
A little more aggressive, really, for both of them. Derksen was not prepared to play too aggressively in the odd end. He was happy to take the blank and try to get last rock here into the even ends. Now he's going to try to utilize it. wants to get by the front one. That is in the no-tick zone. Touches it, but didn't leave the center line, so that's legal. You can see the grin. Shotstone's in a pretty good spot. You got a staggered guard right in front. Mike's looking at playing the guard on the yellow guard so that you can't make the double peel on the next one. Looking at the come around, looking at the freeze.
Hello, Sean.
I was wondering what happened to you.
I have no idea. Technology is an interesting thing.
I think they've settled on coming around again.
So here's Marsh. Golden Flash trying to carve it through that hole. It's through it no problem. Does it have the right weight? That's pretty good.
Now you kind of have to make a play on those top two. Now, you do this right. I think the yellow that's frozen there now comes into the rings. You can roll your shooter over for a corner guard as well. And if you're really, well, lucky and or greedy, you roll them both together so you leave it guarded. But this is not a lot of ice to do that.
Gavin Martins. Bang, bang, and will that one hang on in the rings? It will.
Keeps one of them. Could have thrown that quieter and tried to keep both of them over there.
The guard is back on order for Team McEwen. Kevin Marsh. Maybe a touch tighter than what I liked.
A touch, but it's not bad. It's, you know, you can play the run back. You're not going to be in the rings. Hard to make both of the stones in the 4-foot go away.
See them taking basically zero ice here.
Yeah, just instead of a sliver off the nose one way or the other, you'll get the run back stone and the back one of the reds, and you're kind of hoping you spill the other one out of the 4-foot at least.
Push 1-2.
Didn't really spill the top one very far, but
Only leave one McEwen stone in the ring, so it's better.
yeah.
Mike's looking at the really high guard here.
Yeah, he's got to take away, if he's going to play the guard, he's got to take away both the come around, so the out turn come around to tap it out, and he's got to take away the yellow run back.
Now, Sean, if you're going to throw that.
And that's why I thought he might
What?
hit this.
Yeah, but what's not what? Yeah, go ahead, Sean. I'm sorry.
Well, you hit this and sit two. and you're still looking at the force. It's a little risky. Like, it's hard to guard everything with one rock.
Right.
He's got the run. It's a yellow one coming back, and it's coming back from the side where he could dead stick it, leave it buried, or he could roll it over behind the yellow corner guard. And that's, you just don't want to leave him that many options. So you've got to guard the run back. Well, then you leave him enough of the center line side he can get at it directly. Maybe it's better to just sit two and play for the force at this point in time. And that's what they're looking at. They made the hit. Derksen could still opt to play the run back. That's his best bet to get something buried here.
Now, if you're going to throw that, what kind of weight are you looking at?
You know, it's dealer's choice kind of thing, but you see a lot of teams nowadays throwing quieter weight at this to bring the sweeping in. Again, you're hitting it close to the nose, so you'll carry most of the weight through on the run back stone.
Now, is that affected by the fact you have one brusher?
Not that much, because really most of the time on a hit you're only using one brusher anyway. You're trying to manipulate the line a bit, and as long as you've got a brusher who can switch, and I think Gavin, like you can, a lot of these young guys have learned to do that from the time they started playing. You didn't want to miss it on the high side like that. You wanted to give yourself a chance of getting that stone out in the forefoot. Even if you roll out off the stone in the forefoot, the situation improves. Now it's back to Mike can throw guards.
Stone from Flash, looking for the guard. Sails in pretty nicely.
Yeah, it might have overcurled just a sliver.
Not a skosh.
Yeah, no. I don't mind making a pass at this, because you play this with quiet weight, try to get to it. And he's going to play the run back again, but you try to play it with quiet weight, like backline to hack even. It's more important to control your shooter. If you ever rub that red one on the way by, the guard, your shooter probably ends up in behind the corners.
On the run back, 1 and 2, and there they go.
Still leaves the center guard, but now it's his own.
Just looking to stick one underneath here. Mike McEwen is first in the fourth. Bringing on Downs in the forefoot and halfway in there, and Eli shot stone. About 2/3 buried. If he'd ever move.
A little more than 2/3, I think. Still, there's enough to go after it. You can roll in behind those two yellows. You don't have to hit this hard. As long as you make the roll, you don't even necessarily need to kill the red.
Yeah, that's the shot, right?
It's the shot to go after your 2 for sure.
They are taking it on. If you miss this, McEwen's going to have a good chance to try to set up a steal. You make it, you have a chance at 2. Dylan Derksen. Just trying to feather this one and move behind the guards. Gavin Martin's on the brush. Pass the guard. Make contact. Where does it roll to? Does it roll perfect? Oh, it rolls pretty darn good.
Well, it did, and then it spun back half a rock out into the open. It was buried. It was dead buried for a minute. Well, less than a minute, a second.
We'll take a look at it here.
Take a look at this. It's the nice roll in behind. He's dead buried. Well, we're not going to see there. And just spins back at the end. He was dead buried.
We've seen that all weekend here.
That was a huge spin back.
These rocks corkscrew hard. McEwen does certainly have a look at this one.
Yeah, it still has to be made. I mean, he can't see all of it.
He's asking for a sliver more. His final of the 4th. Just wants to pick this guy out.
And there's a chance he could roll back to buried on the center line one.
Flash picks it up right out of his hand. Now they're okay with it. Back and forth, Marsh and Flash. Past both guards. They got contact. And they roll. About a third buried.
Yeah, left him enough to make the blank, though.
Blank should still certainly be there.
You kind of know when you get it, when you see both sweep, they're going back and forth on the sweep calls a little bit. He's got contact. It's a question of have they got the roll, and not quite enough. Can hit this one a little thicker than he hit the one last end.
Derksen looking for the blank. Final still in the 4th. Just a heavy clean here. No problem. The blank goes in the books. Halfway through, it's 2-1 in favor of McEwen. Derksen has the hammer. They come back with the second half from Martensville.
Yes. Whoa. Oh, boy. John. Really?
Welcome back to Martensville. Another blank end in the books. Derksen trails by 1 over Mike McEwen. The score is 2-1 in favor of Mike McEwen. Derksen has a hammer here in end number 5, throwing the yellow rocks.
Yeah, interesting. We see a different start to this end than we saw in the third. In the third, McEwen's team threw the first one into the rings. Derksen hit it right away, played it through for the blank. They don't want to give him a chance to do that again in the odd end, so they threw a guard this time.
Well, we might not get the box, but we might get the parallelogram.
It's just a box that UPS delivered.
Depends how hard they threw the package at your door. Meyer, ooh, can't get it past the guard. So instead we have a trapezoid. Mike doing some good crab walking there. And Kevin Marsh, they say this one's a little bit hot. Make the hit. Roll's gonna move out into the open.
And then back to edge to edge.
Yes, I've seen it all weekend. Lots of late action on these stones. So Derksen wasting no time and just gonna look to clear out the parking lot here. 1 and 1.
Felt like you were hoping to count higher than that on that shot.
I may have been. It looked pretty good halfway down the ice, Sean.
Yeah, I thought Mike might take a look at this. So he's looking at trying to guard the one in the top 8 foot to take away the double. But with that yellow where it rolled to, you know, this is going to leave shot stone wide open, and you could play the hit and roll behind the corner. You'd be shot buried. So I'm not sure that he's as likely to play the run back on this one. He might.
And the guard's going to come on down, curl up to the center line, and end up in about the 2 position.
He could still play the run. He definitely has to be worried about those 2 rocks on the center line, but the option would have been there if he wanted to play it, to play the hit roll behind the corner guard.
So still trying to kill all 3 of these. Stone's on the way down. It's going to go over the top. Picks the one out of the 4 foot.
That's the more dangerous stone anyway. That one at the top of the 8 foot by itself, you're probably not real worried about it stealing.
We talk about this all the time. It does look like both draw paths are relatively obstructed.
Yeah, to the button for sure. But again, with that stone just biting the 8 foot, he doesn't have to get to the button to be shot rock.
McEwen would not mind forcing Derksen to a single here in
Nope.
5.
He wouldn't. It's the 5th in, and that's the other factor here. Like if this was the 6th, you make this guard, and I think Dylan comes around the corner.
This one just a skosh deep, so the double's going to be called for again. Rhett Whitmore. just going to get the top one. He was outside all day there. So Mike went right back to the guard. Which, well, my question is, would he ever find a way to split or jigger them around the house a little bit to lie to?
Yeah, I think you're guarding it for now just because you don't want the play to go to the corner.
So the guard has called a maid.
He's definitely playing for the blank now. If you were going to try to play offense, this would be where you do it. And I think you'd still play the draw to the corner behind those staggered yellows because I'm not sure the path is there to get to the button. A rock in the 8 foot behind the staggered yellows probably going to end up on the scoreboard.
Outside again. 2 straight big sets by Rhett Whitmore.
Mike is worried that they're going to go around. I think if they were going to go around, they'd do it earlier. I think you could throw one more guard and you come in on the last one. You come in now, they're probably going to get forced to try to score 2.
This game obviously being played pretty close to the vest, just points scored in 2 ends thus far.
You can play the guard tighter, that's fine. He's thinking play it tighter, tempt him to try the double one more time. I don't think you have to worry about tempting him. I think he's playing it. And if he makes it, you can always come around the corners and you've still got the force that way. Any audio off the players, so I can't hear what they're talking about. I can't imagine he's thinking about playing the tap on his first one. That might be what they're talking about. You play the guard. If he peels the guard, you can tap on the last one. So part of this, they're also thinking about whether or not there might be a shot to steal here. They can't think that stone is good enough to steal on its own. You come there on the first one, he's just following it. You probably force him to try to score 2. And they might be okay with that. They don't want to give him another chance to blank.
Do you ever just draw underneath the wing and lie to split?
Well, I don't, but it's based on I don't think he's going to draw first. If he was going to draw first, I think he would have done it already.
So going back to the tap again there.
And I don't like the tap on the first one. If he's looking at that as a shot for his last one, that's a different story. But you make the tap now, you're going to give him a chance to play the double and roll behind the corner. You already know he wants to hit. If you're worried about him drawing, you throw the guard on the center line a little bit higher, and then it takes away the draw path.
This is a tap?
I think so.
So if you're going to throw the tap, how deep do you tap it?
Well, you almost want to be back button on this, I think, because you expect that Derksen's going to try the double and the roll, so you want some separation. You just tap this to top 4 foot. There's only 4 feet between them. it's a much more makeable shot. I know typically you don't want to put a stone behind the tee line, but I don't think there's going to be a draw path to get to there to it with a freeze. So
I agree. I do agree with that.
the
I
corner
think the
guards are in
draws
the way.
yeah, the draws are gone right now. So, and what has become a very interesting end number 5. Mike McEwen with his first. Looking to play the tap here. Martian Flash. This one's currently a good bit now. You take it, you promote it, and you get right up to the tee line. That's a pretty good result.
Yeah, it is. It's just angled enough that I think the only double where he holds his shooter is straight back, which means he can't be buried. And the only other double, you could go over the top of the second one, but then I think you're losing the shooter. Right? You could do that with quieter weight. I just don't. This isn't the scenario where you want to throw this really quiet. If you're going to play the double, you got to make sure you kill them both.
So Dylan Derksen settles on in. The young man kicks and delivers. Looks like he got this one started just a little bit out of his hand. Can Martins hold it? Get the one? No, it's going to go over the top.
Well, and now with a good guard, it is a steal opportunity. And this guard could bite the 12-foot for that matter.
Might as well, right?
Well, you bite the 12-foot, he's playing the double. You get a tight, straight guard, he probably is trying to angle one of the yellows in.
Is there ever a world where you just want to force?
Sure.
I think that's just what Mike's choosing to do.
Yeah.
So the idea here is to draw underneath those 2 yellow guards, have the house somewhat split, and force Dylan Derksen to take a single. Carrying the hammer into 6. Yeah, tied up 2 hammers to 1.
You could guard it full 12, and then any attempt at the double, he's got to hold his shooter in the rings.
He's not 100% sold, I don't think.
I think it's just the ice. They're still playing the come around. He's not. You're going to play this draw. It's not even critical to be buried. It's just don't leave anything where he can double and roll out.
Yeah, no double. Final rock of the 5th for Mike McEwen. Flash and Marsh walk it past the guards. The line is fine. The weight is fine. That works. So the force is on. Dylan Derksen is going to make this hit and stick for a single. Final stone of the 5th. Just a heavy clean. Now a little bit of a carve. Looks pretty good. Is pretty good. Put that single point on the board. We're all tied up at 2 after 5. 6 end coming up from Martensville after this on Curling Stadium.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting tenfold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
Brett, come on man, I know Aztec's #1 for online safety training, but we really should be out here practicing.
I know, guys, I'll be right there. Just let me finish this course on gas detection. Wait, do you smell that?
And welcome back to Martensville. It's all tied up here at 2-2. Mike McEwen versus Dylan Derksen here at the Curling Stadium, Martensville International. We are so thrilled to have you here with us on Curling Zone on YouTube. I'm Dave Schmel, joined by Sean Joyce. Connor Sims is making all the magic happen on the production side. McEwen has the advantage here with 2 hammers to 1, Sean.
Yeah. Not the way they would have liked to start that end, though, with a long guard. It's typically seen as an advantage. That's why he wanted to force there. He wanted to get the hammer back here in the 6th end. You'll probably see them play a little bit more aggressively to try to score here. If you're going to play for that hammer in the 6th, you don't want to see a blank here. But
At the same
that's
time,
not a
Dylan
good start.
at the same time, Dylan Derksen's going to be pushing for the steal.
Well, and this is one of the few times where if you're Derksen, you actually don't mind a blank here. You get a blank in 6, you're back to even playing 7, where you assume it's going to be 1 hammer each, and then you just have to try to force the play a little bit in 7. You don't want to see a blank in 7. So the problem with being short in that last one, that the intern side, which maybe would be their preference, is just not available right now.
So now here's Daniel Marsh. Flash and Marsh trying to work this one around. Come pretty close. So Derksen looking to freeze on top of that again.
Yeah, I'd like to get to the inside, which is not going to be easy.
Do you ever like drawing behind those two?
I don't hate it.
And well, he's at least thinking about it.
It's tougher. I mean, this isn't 5 feet of curl, but it's a good solid 4, and there is some late finish.
I think if you make it, it's a better shot.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, there's maybe an argument to make. Like, I'm not even sure you can make this shot the way they want to. You need to get it slightly across the face of that red stone, and there's not a little ton of room by the guard. You're only, 5 feet deeper than the guard? They might be coming around anyway. Not what they called, but what they're going to get.
They're stuck in between.
That's not bad. Mike's going to have to move something now.
Well, 5 rocks, he can run the yellow in if he wants to.
Yeah, and the upside for him now, that guard that ended up, wasn't what they wanted. They were trying to come around. He could end up with kind of a staggered corner guard.
So here we're looking to run this in and get a little bit of roll, set up a second corner guard, and kill everything in the house. Push it back. Well, you moved one and queued your own on top of Shot Rock. That's not bad.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good. He's got, the center line's open.
Derksen, without hesitation, looks to draw under and lie too.
Kind of forced by the situation.
This one looks like it's skating just a touch. It's going to settle down in an okay spot.
No, I don't think so. That's a little deep. Like if Mike wants to play for his deuce around, and I mean, it's only 9 inches off the center line, but essentially that's a corner guard. And now you're also protecting him from the back because you slip mostly behind the T line. He could get a corner freeze on that. He's buried. You can't push it back. They're even looking at coming around from the intern. You could move it from the intern side.
Oh, here they go. They are going to move it from the intern side, around the outside, around the outside, around the outside.
Well, and you still end up dead buried. And now, the issue, if you can move it, is that red at the top of the 8-foot, which is still frozen. You can potentially have it in play for scoring because you can always tap the yellow.
So they squeeze past the high guard, no problem. Line looks fantastic. Make good contact here. And they do.
Yeah, they opened up a little bit more room. I think if you wanted to move that, though, you might have liked to move it a little bit farther.
The draw is still there, right?
Well, the draw's still there. That's not the issue. The draw was always going to be there. The issue is you didn't really, what did you get yourself? You didn't open up any more scoring area at the top. You play that red-yellow, you're still not second shot.
So Rhett Whitmore. This one looks heavy.
Looking for the curl.
Can they carve it over far enough? The line's getting better. It's getting really, really good. Get a little... Oh, my goodness, it's short.
Yeah, and he left a double on the yellows at the top. You could even come off the red and make it.
Man, that was 8 inches from being great. But as it sits, terrible. So are they going to take that on now?
Yeah, I think the question will be how, because you don't have to whip this either. You whip it, you lose the red. But if you're going to play it again, you want to make sure you throw enough to move the yellow. The straight back tap doesn't do you any good right now.
Yeah, in my eye, the double is the only shot, really.
He's only looked at taking it off the red so far. I think you can see enough of the yellow to go off the yellow.
Oh, for sure. Well, we'll see.
It's considerably thinner coming off the red for sure. Although if you if you come into the yellow and the yellow touches the top of that red, it's probably going back into the other yellow.
Colton Flash settles in. Fires his first of 2. Trying to work it over just a little bit off the red. Clear out the one yellow.
Yeah, that's worse than what it was before.
So you see it's still Mike McEwen sitting 1. Second rock locked in there pretty good for Dylan Derksen.
There's still another yellow he could come all the way across, but some risk with that.
So Whitmire is going to come on down and chat with the skipper. Let's take a look at this.
Yeah,
Come up top and draw something up for us, Sean.
Well, I don't have a telestrator, but if I did, the shot might be what they're looking at there. You run the yellow onto the red. Now, he's talking about just rolling it over. I don't think that helps you. It probably is going to leave a double. But I'm not so sure you couldn't make this yellow onto the red and have it come across into shot stone.
Right.
Like, if you don't throw out anything over on the side there, I think Mike McEwen on his next one is coming off that yellow in the 12-foot and trying to kill that yellow off the top of the 8. So I think you have to play something on this side. And your best result is run the yellow back to hit about across the face of the red to about a third and have it come across and kill shot stone.
Take a look at all the angles here. Is Derksen. With the very unique black uniforms with red trim. This one's hanging out there.
No, he's over curled.
It's gonna make contact and just stick right there.
Got rid of one red.
Shot stone for McEwen. Second for Derksen, third for McEwen.
It does, by putting that stone rocks width higher, it makes the crosshouse double a little tougher still. Mike's still going to look at it. It's tougher now because coming from this angle, I don't think there's any way you ever make the shot without touching the stone, the shot stone. Like you come across into the yellow. Mind you, the angles are all pretty good for McEwen if you hit that right. It's the yellow still goes through the port. The red, when you touch it, is going to come back towards the yellow at the back of the 8.
Yeah, this is such a thin double. It's Heckner-esque. Colton Flash. Pick this one up right out of his hand. It's going to catch way too thick. Rolls on over and by.
Now, what did he leave off that one? It's probably a pretty good angle to come off it into the yellow. tougher angle, but it's still there to come off it into the shot stone. It's thinner.
So much risk.
Well, but if you leave it there, Mike's going to play it.
So do you draw the third shot as defense?
You got to be real careful with what you leave.
I'm just trying to lay out the whole menu here. It's up to you to read it.
You could play off this quieter if you come in and just, so you play it a little bit quieter weight. If you hit the first one a little too thick, you come into the yellow and you might just touch it in for shot rock. You're still hitting thin to get to the red. So if you hit, even with quieter weight, if you come into the red, you should pop it at least out into the open. Now, I'm not saying that's what they're doing. This, to me, looks like they're going after the double. Double is so thin. He did talk about just rolling over there.
Yeah, like you said, such a thin double. So the first from Derksen. That's going to catch the outside of it and do absolutely nothing.
Well, it takes the shot away.
Sure.
I didn't see the call here for Mike. You could just draw back 4 foot on the other side of the center line and make sure you got a shot for 2. Your front 4 foot here at all, he's probably playing the slash double. Oh, he's throwing this one through, actually.
Through, yeah.
So that he doesn't give him anything to play off of. Can you see enough of the red guard closest to the house to run it? Red, red, yellow, red. I mean, it's going to jam at the back, but everything else going to be buried.
Sure. Yeah, sure, but you do that. I think there's a shot your yellow pops out enough that Mike can pick it with his last.
Well, it depends on the weight you're throwing with it. I mean, he's thinking about trying to guard to take away the draw. You can't take away the whole 4 foot with one round.
No, you certainly can't.
You can make it trickier, I guess.
Taking ice way out in Albuquerque. So Dylan Derksen sells into the hack. Is ready to throw this next shot. His last of the 6th. Just looking to make Mike's shot a little bit tougher. It is indeed a guard. So is there anything there, Sean, for $1 million?
No.
Just the draw of the 4.
Yeah, and as much as he'd like to come through the center line, hold it, the issue there is, and that's why you see him talking about, they've pretty much got a chisel to make this. Like, by the time you make that port, I don't think you're getting by those stones on the side, so he's going to have to chisel into the 4 foot, which he could do. The other option is to draw wide around the outside and try to catch the edge of the 4 foot, but he probably feels like he knows the line and the weight better in this spot.
This seems a little trickier to me.
It's trickier, but it's really not risky because there's no way to hit that yellow thick enough to do any damage. And they played a few draws this in down this path. They have an idea what it's going to do. You could actually chisel off either one of those. You could chisel off the red and the 8 foot as long as you're really thin, or you could get by it and chisel off the yellow. The issue here is all going to be about the weight, and then the brushers will have to communicate that. You're playing the chisel, so you can't throw this with T-line weight. You got to have back 4 anyway.
So, final stone of the 6, Mike McEwen. They grabbed it early. Weight looks pretty close. It's going to be all about the line. Flash and Marsh. They're going to get that little rub and scrub it on in, and they get there too. Mike McEwen scores 2 and 6 to take a 2-stone lead. Derksen will have the hammer in 7. We come back to Martensville on Curling Stadium.
Aztec Safety is #1 for online safety training.
Aztec Safety is the proud sponsor of the Aztec Safety Challenge, the #1 event on the World Curling Tour.
And Aztec Safety has been a proud sponsor of Team Jacobs on our quest to represent Canada at the Olympic Games.
And welcome back to Martensville. Mike McEwen with a big 2-under there and end number 6 to take the lead over Dylan Derksen. Derksen has the hammer throwing the Yellowstones here in the 7th. Thank you for joining us here on Curling Stadium. So happy to have you here with us. If you have not done so yet, please take the opportunity to click that thumbs up and subscribe to Curling Stadium. It doesn't cost you anything, and you'll be up to date in all the curling action from across the world all year long. I'm Dave Schmel, joined by Sean Joyce and Connor Sims. Thank you for being with us. And Shawnee, a hard-fought deuce there from McEwen.
Yeah, it was, and a nice final shot to get it. And then, well, let's take one more look at it. Just had enough weight, so this is one where with the weight that he's got, if he actually gets to his own red one, he might not have had enough to get in. They had to hold the line, get by the red one. They could chisel off the yellow one. That's exactly what they do here. That red one's high enough. If he chisels off it, he might not have had enough weight. gets the 2, and then as we were coming back from the break, you could see, I believe that was Caden Hebert talking to Mike McEwen. We talked earlier about team scoreboard watching. Caden might have been saying, well, thank you very much, because Caden not only needs to win his game, but I think if we've got this figured out right, he needs Derksen to lose to make the playoffs.
So Caden Hebert, a big Mike McEwen fan right now.
He's got his own hands full, but yeah, there's still going to be, there's always some scoreboard watching when you're in that spot.
I thought teams never watch the scoreboard, Sean.
They just tell you they never watch the scoreboard. They're lying. You'd like to put yourself in a spot where you don't need to watch the scoreboard, but it doesn't always work out that way.
Yeah, sometimes it's just the situation you're in.
You know, Rylan Kleider's actually not playing tonight, but he finished at 2-2, and the first thing he would have checked would have been the draw to the button results. So as it turns out, his draw to the button is so good, he knows he's in. It's just a question of who else might be getting in with him. He'll be playing in the 4-5 game. He can't advance any higher than he's either his 4th or 5th, but at least he knows he's alive. Even in a 4-way tie, he would have ended up in the playoffs.
So your team Derksen here. Are you looking to score 2 or 3 right now?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of schools of thought on this. You would love to score 3. If you're not going to score 3 here, and it's tough, you can't do both. If you're not going to score 3 here, you might like to blank this in and take another chance in 8, because you believe you can always score your 2 with last rock. It's hard to really go after your 3 here and still have a chance to blank the end. You get 2 here, you're trying to steal coming home, which, I mean, that's why if you blank here, you figure, well, coming home, if we get 3, we win. If we get 2, we still have to steal the extra end.
See a nice little dig there from Team McEwen. Oh, that's a nasty roll. Absolutely beautiful. Take a look into that one again. Just kind of feathers on in and slides on home.
Still options for Derksen, though, here at this end. You could probably get to that stone in the top 8. Try to, not that you're going to throw it with any weight, and then try to roll over behind the corner. He's looking at trying to get to the yellow, which you could do. Also roll behind the corner, but then you're losing a red probably. You're throwing that with weight. You could just straight draw behind the corner. That's not bad either.
Looked to me for a second that Dylan was thinking about trying to pursue the blank angle.
It's hard for Dylan to go after the blank right now. You kind of have to make Mike throw a hit or two and lose some rocks. If you commit to hitting right now, Mike's just going to start piling them in. I'm not loving this draw. Yeah, I'm not loving this. I liked his first thought to ignore the stuff in the middle and go to the corner.
Once again, to score multiple points off and a little bit of distance is helpful. It's just going to serve to bunch things up some.
Guard's probably coming straight back now. And then the yellows both leave.
Yeah, straight back. All the yellows are gone. You had 2 reds left. Probably 3. Colton Flash. This one is outside a touch. And it did indeed miss.
Well, there's the opening you needed.
All right. So I think now you have to think 3 now, right?
Well, yeah, and I think in order to do it, I think you got to start thinking about moving something because you've got them grouped right now. There's a double there if you don't throw. Yeah, I don't love that because then he gets a choice of which double he wants to play.
Wouldn't it be better to play that little 2-foot run and roll your shooter underneath the corner?
Boy, I hate this. Center guard with last rock's almost never a good idea. The 2-foot run, it's hard not to leave, again, a double, and there's a risk you to leave a triple, although if you left a triple at this point in time, you're back to having a chance to blank. That's not the end of the world. I thought he would look at, you could play a split on the 1 and the 12-foot. Push it in behind the red, try to roll across to the other side of the house. You don't want to leave too many chances around for doubles. That's the scary part here.
So on the way from Team Derksen, well over the center line.
Yeah, I think they decided to come around this corner just to maybe not leave choices of the doubles.
They do have 2, 3, and 4 in the rings.
Yeah.
Only 2 of them readily available.
Mike thinks you can get to the back end of that other yellow, which means there is a triple there. It's not going to be easy. You got to hit the first one really thick to get to the one that was just thrown. And if you're too thick, you miss the one in the 4-foot.
Flash with a lot of heat. March trying to hold it there. Get the 1, tap it over. They move them all. Yes, they do. Colton Flash makes them all fly.
Yeah, makes up for that last one. This was not easy. A little bit of risk involved to it as well. As he had to hit that first one really thick, and if you hit it a little too thick, you could miss the second one. But you can see, I mean, he hits, well, 3/4 and just catches the back end of that yellow that was just thrown. He did spin out into the open. But
That's a game-changing shot right there, Sean.
Yeah, I don't think he can see enough of that to play the double, so he's playing the draw. I thought he'd hit the stone that was just delivered and tried to roll under. This gets rid of the blank, too.
This draw is heavy.
Heavy doesn't kill you because it's still in play.
Doesn't help you a whole lot, though.
Well, Mike can't go after it. I mean, if the guard wasn't there, there'd be a double. No, that's irrelevant. The guard's there, but you could still make a play on the out-turn side, try to get that stone out that's biting the 8-foot and roll under cover. Sit second and third, and no shot for Mike to get at either one of them. So I think Mike's coming in, but I'm not sure that helps him. Straight guard, they play the freeze.
So Mike McEwen with his first here in the 7th. He's up by 2. Derksen has the hammer, but is chasing. This one comes up and it's going to be a nice tight center guard. So in turn, just small tap.
Yeah, freeze tap. You have to tap it to be sitting shot rock, but I mean, you're still probably going to have to place something on an angle in. Hard to tap it far enough that you can draw again for 2. So this might be one where, even if you just freeze onto it, you're not sitting shot rock yet, but you've got the one angle run in on the long corner guard. You got a rock on the outside that you could come in off of on the other side. So, there's going to be options. It looks good to tap this now and be sitting shot, but it's hard to tap it far enough to have a chance to get 2 without rolling out into the open.
Right. So Derksen trying to just get around everything. Push the McEwen stone back just a little bit.
Yeah, he's not pushing it with this weight. He's not getting there.
See if we can get past the guard. No. Oh my goodness, and that ruins your way in too.
Well, you've got it to run.
Sure, but you can guard it just back.
Yeah.
Or take it out.
Yeah, I mean, a little risky to hit it, but that would be the best result because right now you guard it, he's still got the double run in, which, you give him that. He's always going to have something because you got the in-off on the other side anyway. The in-off on the other side is probably better than the double run.
So they're looking at that, just a halfway guard. Come on the out turn side. Over the center line. The counterclockwise rotation. McEwen with his last, looking to dial up the pressure on Derksen. Flash and Marsh.
Already knows he can't be any worse than one up with coming home, but there's a chance he steals this end.
That's not bad at all, Sean.
Yeah, all I see is the in-off on your own.
And dear Lord, that's tough.
What is? I mean, it's so thin. I don't think there's any way he could get to the red to make the in-off on the red, though. I mean, if he could do that, it would be for 2. I just can't see enough of the inside of that rock.
Yeah, so right now it's McEwen sitting 2. It's going to be this in-off this Yellowstone and try to put the shooter onto the button. This is certainly to stay in the game.
Yeah, you don't make contact with the red one, it's steal a 2. So now it helps him that he's playing the in-turn into it, so he'll get the gear effect. That'll roll a little bit lower. It's really thin. Like, this is probably a little less than a quarter.
If that. Dylan Derksen, final stone of the 7th to stay in the game. Has to play this wide and out.
Yeah, that looked like a bit of a soft release too.
Martin's on it. It's way too thick. It's a steal 2 for Mike McEwen. He has a 6-4 lead, and that will be handshakes. So you can hang that final score as 6-4 in favor of Mike McEwen over Dylan Derksen. And Sean, I mean, it was just back and forth, left and right, and Mike just got the better of it.
Yeah, just a little bit in a couple of ends, and certainly when you got to crunch time, 6 and 7, the McEwen team put all the pressure on and were able to pick up a nice deuce in 6, and really were always in control of this 7th end. It was never a great opportunity for Derksen to either get the big end that he was looking for or the blank, and as it turns out, it's the steal, and that's the game.
Well, that's our last round robin game. Tomorrow we will have the quarterfinals starting at 8:30 Central Time, 9:30 in the East. Join myself and Sean. Be quite happy to have you here with us here on Curling Stadium. But for this evening, for Connor Sims and Sean Joyce and our team in London, Ontario, I'm Dave Schmel. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great evening.
Hey, Mark, you ready for this game tonight?
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Cupsy, what are you doing over there?
Don't worry, boys. Was just on AztecSafety.com, took a fire extinguisher safety course. Paul, I'm putting out the fires from now on. Woo!